This is Capuchin V3, a remaster of Capuchin V1 that will bring back the good old nostalgia of V1 due to all the memorable things the devs are adding back. And in today's video, I'll be going over every known sneak peek and lore I could find. So without further ado, here's Capuchin V3, Everything We Know So Far, Part 2! Quickly, and for everyone who needs it, here's a recap on the time that I've been gone. School is the most obvious and time-consuming answer, and the combination of learning new things such as Lua and music, but personally, and honestly, I'm also just a kid, and my time is limited before I have to move on to pursue college and a career I enjoy. Anyways, the first video I want to cover is Capuchin V3 Shenanigans. This video is jam-packed with sneak peeks to V3, and what's most important to us all, horror, specifically level 1, because that's cool. Dave seems to be very different from its late V2 model being more like the V1 model, and we are not going to talk about the early V2 model. For V3, however, Dave looks like he has more realistic face and animations, because the animation used for all the four-legged monsters was an animation from Mixamo. So yeah, that's awesome. The level itself also is very detailed, providing a more immersive experience. Nextly, there's the lower and upper forest, which we can confirm a few things. Number 1, the horror entrance is in the ground and probably hasn't changed since my last video. Shop is back on the first floor, and we can confirm that the mirror screenshot did in fact come from the shop because of the related textures. And we even get a little sneak peek into what the shop looks like and the OST. Number 3, there are 2 unknown objects / structures in the upper forest that we can make out, but we haven't got any new news about them. Number 4, there is a new hole in the tree that connects lower forest to upper forest, and it shines a blue light, meaning this could be a new zero gravity entrance. Number 5, on the bridge there's something on top of it, but it's hard to make out what it is. It honestly looks like some kind of box. Number 6, on / around the stump we can see a blue outline looking thing. I have no idea what that could be, but I'll get back to that later. Okay, that's what I could find in this video. The last video is we have camera footage, which is odd because other than there not being any visuals or figures in the footage, nothing stands out to me, but I'll get back to this later. But just like the last sneak peeks video, there will be many different sections that are built off of different types of sneak peeks. For example, this next section will be off of the images I could find. First up with the images is this one, which the caption read is, "He's behind me, isn't he?" That is the new stump, we haven't gotten to look at that yet, alongside with the bed. And the face of the Capuchin model has changed, it looks more hand-drawn compared to the old one. Just as I suspected, blue is a little different model than before, and I wonder what they're mad about. But what the heck is happening over there in the corner? It looks like a portal or something. This is new Thumpy plus the baby Capuchin, but seriously, I feel like Thumpy's staring into my soul, but they have really good dance moves as well. Got this image, which is pretty hard to see what this is, but it does look like a new shot of an area of level 1. Though I do see something here, it looks like a clown face for some reason, but we'll go back to that later. Anyways, this confirms my most recent thought, this new recent image. This is level 1. This looks like an elevator that may go down to level 2, but based on the V3 Shenanigans video, I'm questioning that a little bit. Similarly to horror, this is the first sketch of the new Thumpy, just more detailed and more informational. I do like this concept art though, it's very nice. This is such an awesome image. Death Hall is referencing the old V1 hallway where if you went down it, the RGBs would just suddenly realize, oh, there's Capuchins nearby. I'm gonna start chasing them until they die. Now this image here is just a screenshot of something I saw, Uchin's Discord server, but it isn't really a sneak peek for V3, but it could mean the black hole in the winter could be connected. Now, by the way, this script was written before the spring forest got added back, so yeah. Finally, these 2 final images are significant for Capuchin V3. Firstly, the screenshot. It doesn't look like much at first, as the new Capuchin model, which now has a tail, which I didn't realize at first, but the screenshot contains some file names of the game's C# scripts, meaning we can see or get a snippet of what's in the game so far, at this point in time when the screenshot was taken. For example, we now know that there is a grapple hook, soccer ball, which you could see in the image, zip lines, which means I was right about earlier, grabbing and gorilla tag movement, the Roomba, and the video player. They're really bringing back everything. Additionally, along with the baboon AI and the Thumpy AI for the horror monsters. We see something called the enemy AI in the footprints, which I have never seen personally or heard before. Along with that, horror has a lot of stuff like the beeper, blood when you die, a possible voice modification while you're in horror, active water in level 1, and 2 files mentioning level 1 for a possible door and or exit. Finally, this image points out that the new model has a lot of armature posing presets in the forms of the eyes and mouth. This could be so cool if they create an algorithm that changes your mouth movement depending on how your voice tone sounds. Finally, the last image. Remember the Cam 1 footage? Now there was a link in the description leading to an image with another URL in the image. I tried translating it over to Google, however I couldn't load the image in, so I asked the developers at Capuchin to get some answers, but I don't think they understood what I was trying to do at first. So we were kind of left a little stuck. However, from this, I made a new friend. Meet Spooky AJ. This Capuchin has been active and a part of the Capuchin community for a long time. Probably knows a little more than I do about Capuchin, so we decided to discuss this together. So after I sent him the link, we realized something. The link actually embedded. What the heck is this thing? It's actually pretty simple and we can get somewhat clear understanding. So the image is called 01-D. Based on the parent screenshot, this can mean whatever this thing has something to do with level 1, and whatever the acronym D is most likely Dave. EJ looked at the image and said something he found to be very similar to the secret image. This is extremely interesting, because he looks like he's stitched together, which puts into perspective that the devs wants us to think that he was experimented on and put together, so we could base Dave's lore based off those visual details and anything else that happens. Additionally to the lore, the Capuchin devs' intentions must be similar thought to with other new models that may be designed similarly to the new Dave as well. Anyways, me and EJ both realized that V2 and V3 lore are probably somewhat connected, based on the screenshots and an in-game flashback to Dave. As a normal Capuchin in a cage, all 3 versions have a strong connection to Capuchin Labs. Additionally, VHS video of lengthy speech and death has an interesting detail in the recording.
All previous logs about the extremely tall creature.
He mentioned previous tapes in this video, which is surprising and interesting, because other than that video, there isn't any known secret videos. We'll get to that in a sec. This is future me, by the way. And this is sort of off topic, but I found an interesting clue to Capuchin lore that no one has talked about in its lifespan. So essentially there is the Force V3 theme that dropped not too long after V3 that was announced, and it hides a pretty good secret and it's clever. So basically I looked at the subtitles of the video and saw it was just saying a bunch of Hindi for some reason, but it continued repeating the same symbols over and over again, around 5 times. And so I screenshotted the symbol, and then I pasted this into Google Translate, and that translated to "Let us go," which, that is pretty interesting to say the least. But at this point, even through all this, Capuchin lore is hidden pretty well, and it shows us its complexity and a very interesting clue to the Capuchin lore. Quick editor note, by the way, translating that symbol into different languages and then translating that into English will have different translations, and I didn't include that in the short, which I should have. And by the way, shout out to Ferris for reminding me to update the main script to add this. Well, anyways, I'm gonna get back to this in a sec, but I gotta do something really quickly. Goodbye. What did I tell you guys would happen? School really messes up a few things. Anyways, let's go over what I missed. Alright, take 2. Let's go over the 18 new videos on V3. Video 1. So this video shows off the new mouth movement with the new Capuchin model. Now let's look a little closer. The mouth seems to move depending on the tone of the voice, as shown when speaking with the mouse compresses inward a little. It's cool that there's a debug menu that tells a few things. A, cosmetics may work in that build, and B, there is a steal master command, which isn't obvious at first of what that means, but it probably is related to the master client, which should cause some players to experience the game differently if they're the oldest client in the server, causing bugs that go all the way back to V1, where the monsters were impossible to run away from, or in V2 where the monsters would only chase the master kind, causing buggy behavior when they weren't in horror. And number 3, what the heck happened to the poor Capuchin face? His eyes are completely uncentered now. Video number 2, this is the new Baboon Wannabe theme, which is an absolute banger by the way. But lore-wise, it doesn't say much other than now that people who didn't believe most of us about Red being a female is now proven wrong. By the way guys, you can calm down a little. It's literally just a baboon. What the heck? Video 3. This is a short clip of 2 Capuchins beta testing V3, and it's kinda cool. These are beautiful textures and scenery looks fantastic, but nothing crazy other than that. Video 3, this is a fun video with some awesome stuff to look at and talk about. Number 2, there's the new black hole plus reactor core design, which currently has a placeholder texture of a dog. I don't even know what dog that is. Someone's probably gonna come after me for saying that. Number 3, the trampoline is back, which I'm actually really excited to see. Number 4, I'm not sure what the funnel looking object is, but it looks like a makeshift cannon to be honest. Number 5, the white strip on the right of this image is either a wind thing or a waterfall from like the beginning of the video. Number 6, there seems to be some kind of watchtower of sorts, which may be the same one from earlier this year in the V3 shenanigans up in Upper Forest, but I'll have to check to make sure. Number 7, the mountains are cool, but you guys are expecting us to climb up them? Just from the previous video, they look like they're towering. Number 8, hi, something for you. Video 5, this is the new Venari Wannabe theme, and it's absolutely awesome by the way. My ears kind of died when listening to this for the first time. It does point something pretty important out. How come Venari comes out to the computer and is a computer program? Because if this image symbolically shows that they will do the blood on the wall showing indicate signs of revenge, potentially this is someone important to the Capuchin storyline, maybe even someone who used to be in charge of Capuchin Labs that got murdered from another person to take their place in the hierarchy, which is a pretty dark but plausible theory. So it's cool to see a fan-made ghost turn into actual Capuchin lore. By the way, the next 5 videos are made by Garrett. Make sure to go check him out. I'll put his YouTube and TikTok on the screen for those who want to check him out. Anyways, video 6. This video depicts Venari going around and watching / meshing with different important people / entities in Capuchin lore, even showing who is talking to Dave in the flashback. Venari doesn't like that scientist and only glances at Lengthy before he was noticed. And for Thumpy, I believe Venari is the reason why Thumpy is sentient, due to him possibly giving Thumpy life again, which will lead us into the next video. This video shows us a monologue for Thumpy, which tells us a lot more about him, because we haven't really gotten a lot of leads from it. But towards the end of the video, Thumpy mentions a savior, which is concerning but makes sense due to my previous thought of Venari being the reason Thumpy is sentient, because he just magically, his eyes just turn on. Alright, number 8. This video shows another monologue from Thumpy, most likely from his creation, and Thumpy realizing how messed up the scientist actually is from when he became sentient. Which, so far, every monster and entity has hated the scientist, but same with the last video, nothing other much than that. Video number 9. This is a less known video that shows V3. Number 1, the ziplines from earlier do seem to extend a lot further than I originally thought, going completely around the upper forest. Number 2, I do see something interesting. What I can see is Garrett's model looks like it has eyelashes on the sides of the eyes, similarly to Red, just on the sides instead of the top. Number 3, on the bridge in the bottom left corner of this image, I do see the picture of some kind of map. Now, I do realize that this video came out before a few of the previous videos, so this map has been in them, just not as noticeable. But we have been needing this, because new players will never know where things are into the Capuchin map and no one will be willing to help them, so they'll just keep asking for help, and it causes people to get discouraged, and this will hopefully break that barrier for the new players. Number 4, so the island is actually a lot further out than I realized, and the water itself seems to go on for quite a while. I feel like they should add like a something that doesn't move, so it's not like the water just cuts off at a random point in space. Number 5, why is that model like the size of the watchtower? Anyways, let's just move on from this. Video 10. This video shows Dave suffering and being controlled by the Capuchin labs, which most likely is what the scientist is doing here. But this is most likely after being experimented on, and the scientist has appeared a lot in these videos, so he better be important to the Capuchin. Video 11. Not much to say other than fun. This is a funny bug though, and hi Capuchin who needs bananas. Also, I just noticed that the lower forest looks a lot darker than normal. Nothing too important, just wanted to say that. Video 12, just the follow-up of the previous video, and it shows when someone disconnects, they explode into bananas everywhere and their eyes close. It's a very good attention to detail. Video 13, this is another bug showcase of Capuchins taking flight when you just ram into each other. And it's pretty funny, but what's even cooler is a confirmed waterfall, and the slide is back as well. Video 14, this is basically V3 Shenanigans Part 2. So I'm just gonna go over the main highlights of this video because it's quite long, it's about 4 minutes long. Number 1, that's a pretty high drop if you ask me. That's a crazy contrast to height compared to what we normally see. Number 2, these are very silly Capuchins indeed, and look at the new mirror in shop, which proves my points almost 5 months ago of the mirror taking place in shop, which is very similar to old V1. Number 3, there seems to be tires appearing all over the map, which I kind of like, to be honest. And number 4, the tents seem to have gotten a major upgrade. They look very cool indeed. Video 15, this seems to be a horror test, and Dave is pretty excited to see this guy. The level of detail of the models and Dave up close is actually very impressive. Stuff like this makes me very excited to see V3. Video 16, flashbang, but basically what it is. This seems to be another horror test, but I feel like it's related to Wannabe in some way because I don't know what the blue thing about purple is, and that's pretty over dramatic by the way. Whatever it is, they fixed it, so yippee! Video 17. Yes. This is very crucial indeed. But anyways, this is a Wannabe chase theme, and it's for the jester baboons, and is also very peak. They are very creepy, and they honestly look a lot more humanoid, which is very unsettling, but also it is fitting because it came out on Halloween. Gotta appreciate the attention to detail. But what the heck happened to the baby? Video 18. This video shows us the inside of Stump, which actually looks pretty nice, but I do see something we have been waiting for the past year of V3 being announced, something relating to level 2. It seems to be some kind of portal, but I'm not sure how it could be used in other than a different level or like a dimension, not an entrance. The reason why I know this is something I'll talk about later. Anyways, I saved one last important video for last because it is pretty interesting to say the least. So I heard about a secret video starting like a few days after the Jester Chase theme came out, and that no one has found it yet. So I made it my mission to find it. Also, EJ was searching for it too. But after searching for felt like forever, I took a break for a week, and I was met with this upload. What the actual heck is this thing? I had to take a closer look at it because there's no way I'm just gonna pass off an image like that. But even after overexposing the video, I can't find anything other than the audio. But it seems to be we're dealing with some large parasite-like monster. And since the alarms go off, this is most likely means that this is in another cave nearby to the Capuchin labs due to the excessive reverb and echoing heard in the video, which can't really be heard in a laboratory that's has tight hallways and stuff. But then I noticed in general, Dot had revealed where the secret URL was. It was in the newest music video for the Jester Baboon Wannabe theme. So I looked at it just a little bit closer, frame by frame, and then saw this. That is some next level camouflage. So I found out that Dut released the video to the public after they realized that the URL is completely butchered by YouTube compression and camouflage. Oh well, that was fun while it lasted. But anyways, let's go over the new images! Okay, very spooky indeed, but this seems to be just a new black hole design, and I'm actually really excited to see how they transition from V2 to V3 through some kind of event. Well, at least I was right about the video players. This looks nice and cozy, but I wonder what's playing on the screen though. They better let us cycle back to the original monkey video. What even happened to the poor Capuchin? It's dying. But the bed is actually pretty cool. I like that. Joe? What happened? Huh. How did she get that up there indeed? Pretty mountains, and this area actually reminds me of this image. I believe this was the original idea for V1, but it was scrapped until now. For this image, I can't see anything, at least from this Google Doc, so let's fix that. There we go. It looks like Dave from this angle, and it's pretty creepy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not think it would take this long, but yippee, congratulations to Banana Analytics to get it from getting out of this lawsuit. It's kind of stupid to begin with. Whoa, what the? I don't even know what I'm looking at, to be honest with you, but it potentially could be the inside of Stump. This seems to be Venari's 3D model. It is also very detailed, and one thing I'd like to point out is that the fact that they look very stringy, almost thread-like, which usually isn't very organic. So this may hint at Venari being an experiment gone wrong as well. Okay, this image appears to be a snippet of level 1, and... Wait, this looks familiar. Anyways, let's just move on to the next image. Wait, hang on. Whoa. These two are connected. The first one is the Imgur image in the description of the Cam 1 video. And the second one... Wait, how has no one noticed this? This is the entrance to the Capuchin Labs. That's why the video is called Lab Cam 1. The second image is literally one-to-one with the perspective of Cam 1. This takes place at around 2 to 3 months ago after the new Cam 8 video, released from November 10th, 2000. And Lengthy's video was recorded on December 4th, 1998, which is the earliest known date of Capuchin lore goes back to, meaning in actual Capuchin lore, around 25 to 30 years have gone by. And now we're on his topic. Lengthy talks about how the experiment contract works, how the authorities are ignoring Lengthy's reports, and hundreds killed? The lab is literally toying with life as we know it, and it literally made demons. And since they are trying to keep someone alive without essential internal organs, they accidentally create monsters that cannot be killed. This is why has no one talked about this? This is why all the monsters, including Venari, hate the scientists in the labs. He killed hundreds of Capuchins. This is why Venari wants to end Capuchin Labs as we know it, and recruit other entities who went through the same torture. The contract being made between the authorities established that criminals would be experimented on instead of keeping them in jail for doing the crimes, just for science. That's literally what the scientists said. Now that's how the Capuchin world works. And that's how everything came crashing down in the end, and it is very disturbing. Sharky, breathe. It is literally just a VR game. Anyways, I believe that this is for an elevator of some kind, but most people won't notice that when the word down has an M instead of an N update, it should look something like this now. This is future me, by the way. Poor Dave. I feel bad. I honestly actually wonder what's in the test tube on the left, but I can't really see or make out anything because it's all scribbled off. Whoa, these are some concept monster designs. These are pretty creepy and some of them are pretty derpy, but I wonder which ones will actually be used in game. We'll get back to top right monster. Well, this is absolutely awesome. I love this idea for Capuchin's map. Everything being connected together sounds like a pain to network properly. But other than that, this is awesome looking. I love this idea. It will bring back the pier as well, which is a very unappreciated map if I'm going to be honest with you. This looks like a potential entrance to level 2B. I do like the contrast and the mix of the brick wall plus gray paint. It almost looks like the area hasn't been probably kept up to standards due to all the time passed in the lore of Capuchin. This is another concept art of what part of the labs will look like. I like the atmosphere. I think this could be close to level 2B or in level 2B since the layout and the walls look very similar to it, and it also shows level 2B's layout on the wall there. Again, this is a perfect way to show what V3 is capable of. We have very talented artists, modelers, and developers working hard to deliver the best experience we could ask for. Keep it up the good work, Banana Analytics. Also, the vents. Is this like the entrance? And also the outside area on the left is very nice to see. I wonder if it's just like a little plant area or is it actual outside? We'll have to wait to see then. Another concept art depicting Venari, but this one seems more like concept art like since it's a quick sketch of what they wanted to look like and they did a good job in the end with a 3D model. Yet again, another concept art for Capuchin Labs. I do like this one a lot, however I like the idea of it being more underground, but of course basements exist and it would be awesome being able to go outside of Capuchin Labs from the inside to be able to see what the entrance leads to. Nice! It's concept art for Lower Forest. I do appreciate the V1 reference with the playground set on the left, but we know now 100% of what the hole is in the big tree. It is zero gravity indeed. The blue light kind of gave it away. Okay, this guy's a little bit messed up. I see a few things wrong with this guy. Firstly, they have two different eyes. One of them looks like a normal Capuchin eye, and the other one looks like an RGB eye. which makes sense because this looks like the potential return of the purple baboon, which we haven't seen in a while. Another thing I noticed is the baboon seems to have human-like teeth, or teeth that don't look like they belong in the baboon's mouth. And the spiky stomach hole, that thing has a really different looking teeth, and on one of the guy's arms there's a wild cable looking thing that looks like it's keeping its arm together and acting as an artificial bone. And finally, there are two more things I noticed. The coloring of the baboon is very inconsistent, which is odd, almost like it's being transformed into a baboon. Anyways, let's move on to the next image. Alright, this is pretty interesting. It looks like some kind of robot, which is named 0-14, which doesn't seem to have any known meaning up to this time, but it's kind of derpy. This is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. This seems to be another concept art for a watch display that you'd see in Wannabe. This game mode will be absolutely awesome when it comes out. It'll actually be a unique game mode. Again, another concept art for Wannabe. Now, this looks like something you would see in shop, but it would be really cool if there's like a watch you can get the ability skins of monsters from. Just please don't make it pay to win, like, or very expensive. Obviously, make it difficult so it's not like you could just buy it on launch day. But make it so that it's not like 10,000 bananas, so they spend all of it on Wannabe and nothing on cosmetics. That would be sad. This looks like concept art for Capuchin Labs. Since the logo is on the wall in the background, this is very cool indeed. Now this is interesting because this is a hallway with a bunch of pictures of the baby everywhere, which could mean that this hallway is leading up to a room where the Capuchin babies stay, maybe even in Capuchin Labs. This is very cool. This is some more forest concept art, which shows us a lot of awesome stuff they want to add, which actually correlates to the previous forest concept art of the map, like the top-down map. But I noticed in this image, there's a cave-like area towards the middle of the map in the brown wall section, and then there's a house sort of thing that's next to the left of the waterfall, which is interesting because what would it even be used for? Shops on the ground. Okay, this is a big one, so strap in. Let me pull up the notes of this image. Okay, so first of all, this is the entrance area to the Capuchin Labs that seems to be behind the front counter in the lobby of Capuchin Labs through a vent, which is seen in this concept image, which is the left purple outline and is shown by the cyan arrow and box. And this connects to the next image, which depicts the outside area of the labs, which you can see in the image and in another concept drawing here in the green. Even the plant locations match up with the concept art in the lobby next to the exit door. Nextly, those images connect to the big plant area that we saw earlier, which is in the purple, which highlighted in the right purple image. On the left side, there is a storage room that connects to a few vents, and on the right, there is a room with 4 test tubes plus some goo that I have no idea where it came from. But now from earlier, we do have the concept art of a section of test tubes that match up pretty well with the layout seen here, which shows that Dave is an experiment in one of these smaller test tubes, which is interesting to think about because Dave has had a pretty important role, and in the last 3 years, it's a larger entity, and this actually all can be tied back to one particular device that we have not talked about in the last 3 years. This, in fact, is from V1 and is the Sizomatic. We haven't seen this in a while depicted through the lore, and we haven't had any applications since that one sneak peek video from V2 and from known V2 and V3 lore. Anyways, we 100% know the RGBs were experimented on down here, so those would be in the other 3 test tubes, which checks out. But those 4 test tubes aren't the only ones down in this visible lab section. There's a final larger test tube in the room above the previous, that is clearly marked by the person who drew this, which creates an interesting and concerning question. What monster is even being kept here that's potentially larger than Dave? There are a lot of monsters that could be used for this test tube, since there are around 5 or so concepts for monsters that could be used in this test tube. But I have a feeling it's the top right Capuchin, look at the Demogorgon thing, might be the final candidate, because since the mouth is very, very similar looking to the Parasite monster from the Cam A video, which is kind of crazy to think about because these guys do not look alike, like the body doesn't look alike, but the mouth kind of does. We just don't see how it would look like when he opened his mouth, but we'll get more information soon, I hope. Because that KMA video it raised more questions than answers. I need the answer. Now, on the left side of this new room with the larger test tube, there's the Capuchin baby room, which I personally can't wait to see for myself. And the long hallway on the left side of the crib room seems to match the concept art of the baby hallway previously we saw earlier. So this may be connected in some way, but if you go up and left from here, it leads to a locked door, which is confusing to think about because why would it be locked? Which could be explained by what's in the room. After going through the vent in the nearby room, we are met with a room that has a hidden room that has a similar someone in it, which is marked to be the purple baboon, plus another test tube, which surprises me a lot because we haven't seen that baboon in a while. It has maybe been 3 years at this point. So why is this guy being hidden away? Which can actually be explained just by the concept art alone. Similar to what I had said earlier, it looks a lot more stitched together and has one of the baboon's red eyes attached to the Capuchin, plus has some of the features of a normal Capuchin, just as it's so distorted it's disturbing. But I think whoever did this experiment hid this Capuchin away due to its failure in experimentation. The red, green, and blue baboons are the final product of this experiment. So with the lower section of level 2A, there isn't really anything other than that. So let's talk about the upper section. So first of all, there's an image that depicting the purple baboon room that got cut off from earlier. Let's take a closer look at that. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. Firstly, there are a few things that are in this room that could tell us a little about it. Number one, this room has not been touched in a while since the vines are growing in the ceiling, and this looks like some kind of office for a single Capuchin. Number two, the skeleton is most likely the purple baboon, or it could be the scientist who experimented in the purple baboon and failed, so they were punished for it. On the right there, the board in the lab says they were using animals to experiment on, which is pretty interesting to think about, which may explain some of the weird abominations we see in the concept art, just combining different animals to Capuchins and see what happens. It also says that there's lore stuff on this board over here, but it's kind of hard to make out. Same with the board on the right. It's just kind of gibberish and it's a little pixelated. Alright, that's everything for that image. Let's move on to the original image. Firstly, I see a big door being shown off by the person who drew this, and it's a reference to the V1 level 3 door. And I'm not joking when I say that people were desperate to get their hands on level 3 news when the door appeared there. I could search it up on YouTube and scroll down for minutes and just find people releasing videos of crazy clickbait thumbnails just trying to capitalize off of it. Nextly, the stairs shown in this image seem to correlate to the concept art from a little while ago, as seen here in the purple outlining. Well, at least for this image, that seems to be it for this massive sneak peek, and well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that seems to be it for this video. It has been a blast scripting this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, sorry for the extremely long wait, I didn't expect it to take this long. But thanks for Okay, I would like to say one final thing. If most of you guys are wondering, which some people I bet have wondered, why the heck is this random Capuchin fan so dedicated to Capuchin lore / and overanalyzing every minor detail and is acting like the Capuchin MatPat, even if there aren't any significant lore / details that I could look at? Well, it's basically because I've been a part of this game since it came out in late July of 2022, and it's been my absolute favorite game since. And from all the support of my first part of this video in a community post, that was my second most voted poll of all time, told me I am responsible to make a part 2 to cover the massive amount of content that has been released over the last 6 months. And I can't thank you guys enough for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys later. It's 30 minutes long! 40 plus 30, oh my god, I have so much to edit. This is going to be such a painful process. Oh my god.